Welcome to our Donkeys and Dragons video chat where we spend about 15 minutes chatting about a specific topic. Today, we have two guests, Gáspár Nagy and Seb Rose. The topic today is about their newest book, not quite finished, but early access. It's called Effective Behavior-Driven Development. We've had the privilege of knowing these two gentlemen for quite a few years, and I've worked with Gáspár in the context of him being an instructor and reviewer of our Holistic Testing for Continuous Delivery course. And that's with the Agile Testing Fellowship, which is what this is under. Gáspár is a creator of SpecFlow and Rock and Roll with over 20 years of experience as a coach, trainer, test automation expert. He is currently working at Spec Solutions, where he leads SpecSync, aiding, not adding, teams and test traceability with Azure DevOps and Jira. Seb has been a consultant, coach, designer, analyst, developer, that's a lot of stuff, Seb, for over 40 years. During his career, he's worked for companies ranging from large to small, including IBM and Amazon. He's now an independent software consultant, promoting effective ways of working software development and with the testing community. Hello, I'm Janet Gregory.
And I'm Lisa Crispin. So, Seb, Gáspár, your first two books in your BDD series, Discovery and Formulation, I found those so helpful, and I've recommended it to so many people. And it's been a few years now that those have been out. So I was hoping for that third book that was more focused on let's turn these examples that we got out of these great conversations and turn them into automated tests. And now you've come up with one book that I think is supposed to include all three books. Is that correct? Can you tell us a bit about that journey?
Yeah, sure. So we started off intending to write one book, right? And this is like 8 years ago or something. And that was going to be the equivalent of the Cucumber for Java book, but it was going to be the SpecFlow for C# book. And we didn't get very far before we realized that actually we didn't want to write another book that had that kept reiterating the same things that were in the Cucumber book and the Cucumber for Java book. And then we said quite incorrectly that if we split it into three smaller books, it would take less time. Anyway, here we are, 8 years later. We released the Discovery and Formulation, and we discovered that self-publishing doesn't really get you the audience that you want. Also, we were slightly nervous if we released the test automation, as in the BDD automation book, which we are now working on its own. People would go straight to that and ignore the fact that automation is the optional part of BDD rather than going for discovery and formulation. So apologies to those people like yourself who've already bought Discovery and Formulation self-published. This new book, Effective Behavior-Driven Development with Manning, has all the content of Discovery and Formulation somewhat updated, and it will also have a pattern catalog of automation patterns that are specifically tailored to BDD practitioners.
Yay.
Yay. Want to add to that, Gáspár, or did he?
No, that's the story. And anyway, I think the first two books, as also Seb mentioned, I think we are still happy with what we were saying there, but there were some new ideas and a few new things, and it's also good to basically dedust that or a little bit or refresh that in this new form.
Yeah, for sure it is. And I got from the first two books, I got a lot of ideas and used them. So they were not anything that, yes, they were good to have out there for sure. It's like when Lisa and I were writing more agile testing, our publisher wanted us to do a what do you call it? An updated version.
Second edition kind of thing.
Yeah. And we said, no, we have too much new stuff to add. So we wrote a different. Anyhow, so next question. Brian Merrick promoted his idea of example-driven development back in 2003. You both are keen on using concrete examples of desired and undesired behavior and turning them into executable tests. Were you inspired by Brian, like we were on so many things, or was this something that you arrived at yourself? Maybe you can start this one, Gáspár.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect question here and from you, because actually that's also part of my journey to testing. So I have to be honest, I have learned about these techniques, I mean, Brian, as well, from your book, actually. So I'm whatever one level after that. And with our teams, we have also felt and we have seen that that having these examples in the conversations are helping us to have better understandability of that, but I didn't know about the background really and how it was developed. So I think when these two things have connected on our projects, that was really a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Think that? Yeah.
yeah. So I came to BDD through meeting Matt Wynn on the UK circuit. I was aware of Brian Marrick. He actually spoke at an ACCU conference down in either Oxford or Bristol some years ago. And so the although the two approaches are linked, I don't see them as the same approach. I mean, obviously, everyone gets inspired by everybody else. Everyone stands on the shoulders of other giants, etc. I mean, Brian, I think certainly early conversations I've had with him, he's more of the mind of why can't you just get the product owner to stand around the whiteboard with you and look at the names of the tests? And I think the thing that differentiates that sort of approach from the Gherkin-driven approach is that it's there's a very particular product owner that is going to stand at a whiteboard or a screen and look at the names of the unit tests. So there are different ways of getting to having that living documentation, and Gherkin is the one that I felt had less barrier to the business stakeholders, although it obviously has more barrier to the engineers.
Yeah, it's funny how things develop and people put things together differently, right?
Yeah, a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff we do, people were talking about it back in the 70s, but I wasn't in software yet then, so. And product owners are all different. I had a product owner that after I showed him mind mapping, it took him 4 or 5 years to actually try it. And then he was like, wow, this is great. Um, but that same team with that product owner, we practice acceptance test driven development using examples from Brian's techniques starting in 2003. And we had so much success with that approach. And then I was on a couple of teams after that, and they practiced test-driven development. They did all the XP practices, but I just really had a hard time selling them on the idea of also adding BDD. Do you have any suggestions on how to get a team to give BDD a try, even if they're already practicing test-driven development at the unit level?
Well, uh, I've become quite cynical about trying to get people to do anything. The old adage of you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So I no longer try and get people to practice BDD. What I say is let's see if we can really understand the story using examples. So the place I start is example mapping. And I try not to call it example mapping because there are too many things that end with the word mapping. So basically, you have to go behind their defenses because everybody's tried everything, or they've read a blog post where it says it doesn't work, and these people are all charlatans. And so you just have to show them something working. And example mapping, if when done even half well, is
Mhm.
way better than a 90-minute meeting with everybody yawning and arguing. So that's the
Yeah,
way in.
I absolutely agree. Sometimes in my trainings or in my coaching sessions, what we were doing as an exercise is that I was asking the client to bring in a user story that they just have completed. So whatever in the previous sprints, they anyway worked through that, and we are just replaying that story and trying to discuss it over with examples. And in many cases, what comes out that they realize that there is a bug in their implementation that they just finished, and that's so visibly showing that if you really think it over properly, then it proves itself that you can find some interesting combinations that you were not really finding because you have only seen it from one perspective. I think the examples are really the tool that we are using, but actually the collaboration that the different perspectives can be incorporated into that knowledge that we bring up together with the examples is the great benefit. So yeah, that's the best way to do. I agree.
Absolutely. I know I've used that same technique in the course when I used to teach, is sometimes when I would go into a company, I'd say, bring me your last story that you worked on, or your last epic, or feature, whatever they want to call it. And let's figure out how it could have been done. Because then, in theory, they know all of the details. So you're not sitting there running around trying to find details. You're not making assumptions. And by doing things like uh, example mapping or getting examples, you can, it's just very powerful because they see so much. So excellent. Thank you. So I have an open-ended question for you. What is the question you get asked the most about your books? Seb?
Well, up until recently, it's been when's the third one going to come out? Um, but of course now, because we're bundling them all together, it's just when's this book going to be finished? So yeah, that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is the one that is most commonly asked. Yeah.
Okay, do you
What
have
about
a,
people who have read your books?
yeah,
They're still waiting for the automation piece. So we believe that discovery, i.e., the example process, is the most important part of it. Any
mhm,
software development project, no matter how you think you're going to approach it. And so, if we had released the BDD automation book on its own, we would possibly have been doing ourselves a disservice because some people would just have read that. A lot of the patterns that we put together in the pattern catalog are not new. Experienced BDD or Cucumber users, Cucumber or Wreck and Roll users will have seen these patterns, or at least uh, tried to solve the problems that these patterns purport to solve. We've taken a few of them to the Europlop conference, so the Pattern Languages of Programming conference
Oh,
this year, and got them reviewed by, Rebecca Ersbrock and all sorts of very respected pattern
mhm.
practitioners. So unfortunately, that set us back months because they came up with so many good ideas that we've had to go back and revisit it all. But it will make for a better pattern catalog when we get to the end. So yeah, that's
That's great. I have time for one more question, Lisa.
all right. All
It
right.
goes
Well,
so fast.
I've just come back from a, a testing conference, and it's all about the AI. And I was surprised really how pervasive it is that people are making use of Gen AI and LLM tools. And for example, and I've tried this myself, they can generate Gherkin scenarios. That's a fairly good job. Um, their downsides as well. Do you feel like AI assistants, tools, and agents are going to impact how teams do BDD?
Well, it's a very hard question, and I think we already had quite some discussions with Seb, because it's I think there is a technical aspect of that. I mean, I don't want to go too much into all of the details, and there is also an ethical or whatever economical and other aspects as well, which is making that thing even more tricky. But what is important and what I have seen definitely is that BDD is about trying to make an agreement on what we want to build,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the source. That's not the output. That's the starting point. So obviously you can use LLMs to help you with the typing or have your scenarios better phrased, and maybe you can also use LLMs to suggest you additional examples that you didn't think of, but actually it is you who is keeping the things under control, because otherwise you will not know what. So that's the time when you need to decide what you want to do. So definitely, what I'm 100% sure is that it's not going to work in a way that you say that, okay, generate me a program, and by the way, generate thousands of scenarios as well, because that has no value from that perspective. It's not that's the wrong thing. But obviously, what
Yes.
will go after? So once you have these scenarios, whether it will be able to help you with the automation bits, maybe, whether it will be help you with the implementation bits, maybe. Definitely, if you have good scenarios, good
Mm-hmm.
specification, then the ALM can also work better. So
Yeah.
uh, So I don't think that definitely this kind of new movement will not replace the need that BDD fulfills. How it will interfere with that, that's a big question.
Yeah, I think Gaspar's more on the fence about this than I am. I think that if something sounds like it's too good to be true, it probably is. I believe that Fred Brooks, the silver bullet statement still applies. There's no such thing as a silver bullet. And we've all been around long enough that we've seen the software industry go around multiple different hype cycles. And at the moment, I see no reason to believe that this is any different. It's a different technology, working with different amounts of energy and all, and has as being offered as a major change to all walks of life, including software development. And no doubt it will affect all of these in some respect. But to accept marketing as a truthful view of what the future holds is always dangerous, and I choose not to.
Well, it
Having
does.
said
We
that,
do. Oh, go ahead.
there's a sec that we are in the appendices. We will be laying out both what we've heard from practitioners and our perspective and what we've seen in teams. I mean, this is just a TLDR. I'm going to be trying to tame any promises that our appendix offers, just to the absolute bare facts about these are the technologies and they will have impacts on the way we work.
Yeah, I hear a lot of the same language I heard, I don't know, 20 years ago about test automation. So,
Yeah, and I completely agree with both of you. Gaspar, I think that was one of the best explanations that's been going around in my head that I've heard. So thank you for that.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and just the idea LLMs, sorry, are built on what people know or what it's found.
Mhm.
It's not what am I thinking of, right? So anyhow, let's make this a wrap. Lisa, can you put up our last little bit of slides? And yes, so these are our books, and please subscribe to our channel. Our newsletter, new content comes out every month. And don't forget to check out our blog posts, which are on agiletestingfellowship.com. You can contact us if you need to, and we look forward to the next time. So, Gaspar and Seb, thank you for being on our channel, and it's been a wonderful time and went way too fast.
Thank you. And
See you next time.
we can't wait to read the completed book, but I'm already reading the incomplete book, so it's all good.
Excellent.
Super. Thank you very much for
All
the
right,
invitation.
thanks everybody.
Thank you.
See you
Bye.
next time.
Bye.